Jesus said, if ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye might say unto this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you. What Father is saying in this statement that he made to the people is that for with God all things are possible. Have you ever heard the term discover the possibilities? Things that are able to be done despite the laws of nature, the tongue of man, the naysayers, the player haters, folk that want to hold you back, people that don't care if you live or die, people don't care if you thrive or not thrive, flourish or not flourish, bloom or wither. But see, those are the things that you do not have to worry about, because with God all things are possible. Father pretty much just broke it down for you in this statement when he said, if ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed. Now let's take into consideration the size of a mustard seed, which is a little bitty thing. Meaning if you just had a little bit of faith, you could do a whole lot of things. A little bit of faith can give you a whole lot of power. But see, a lot of people don't know that they have power. That's why they don't exercise it. Because, you know, that would be like being in a house that has electricity, but you don't think that the light company has turned the electricity on, so your appliances remain unused. You don't even plug them up because you're not aware that the house is lit. Can I talk about it in here today? See, there's a lot of folk out there, you're lit and you don't know it. You're powerful and you don't know it. That's why people try to hold you down, because they don't want you to live up to your full potential. They only want you to have a little bit, if anything at all. But God wants you to have all of it, and God will not let you fall. Jesus said, I've given you power, and he's also given you authority to speak over your own situation, because death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. What kind of fruit are you digesting in your spirit today? Are you walking by sight and not by faith? Or are you walking by faith and not by sight? Meaning you're not walking by what things look like. You're walking by what you have called things into fruition to be. Because you know that God has given you power to speak. God has given you power to change some things out there. God has given you power to shift the atmosphere. Because when you are exercising God's power, there's no power from the tongue of man, nor the actions of man that can stand up against it. Whose arms are long enough to box with God? Their arms are too short to box with God. So if with God all things are possible, then that means that in humanity things are impossible. So that's why you don't look to humanity. You look to God. You look unto the hills from whence cometh your help. I'm talking to somebody out there today. It's time for you to tap into your God power. It is time to walk by faith and never by sight. Sight will have you with a knife to your throat. Sight will have you ready to commit suicide. Sight will have you strung out on drugs. Sight will have you drunk somewhere, sitting in a corner crying and weeping, woe is me. That's where sight will have you. Sight will have you calling your friends up on the phone for the umpteenth time, telling them the same thing, never getting a solution, never resolving the problem, because your friend has got a problem and contrary to popular belief, your friends are not God. You got to take that thing to God. You got to take that situation to God, because it is with God that all things are possible, not your friends. Because let me tell you something about a lot of your friends out there. They don't care. They care enough to get enough information to get on the phone to go call somebody else to spread your business all over the city, to spread your business all over town. But I'm talking about a God that will keep your life confidential. See, confidentiality is of God. That's how you know this world is of the devil, because all they got sense enough to do is take everybody's business and try to put it on the internet. That's of the devil. When you live in a land where you don't have any privacy, that's a land run by devils. Because the devil wants you to move. He don't want you to move in silence. The devil's trying to reveal as much about you as possible. People wondering why people break into people's houses. Well, all you got to do is type their name on the internet and there is information about their houses, photographs of their yard. You may as well advertise to a thief to come to your front door. That's how stupid this world is nowadays. But with God, all things are possible. Even removing that off the internet, because it should not be up there. I don't know whose idea, I got an inkling, but I don't know whose idea it was, that putting other people's business on public display is an intelligent thing to do. Because it's not an intelligent thing to do. It's an ignorant thing to do. Only a fool will put somebody's personal business, their house location, photographs of their yard and everything on the internet for the whole world to see. For every thief that has a cell phone to see. That's stupidity. But when you live in a world that is run and operated by the devil, that's what you have to battle. That's what you have to stand against. That's why Jesus has given you power to stand up against the wiles of the devil. For we are not ignorant of his devices. Who am I talking to out there today? Who am I talking to out there today? You've got to live by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. If you don't, you will die. If you don't, you will be suicidal. If you don't, you will feel like there is no hope for the world. You will feel like there is no hope for you. You got to walk on the words of God. Live out the words of God. Yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil, for he is with you. Oh my God. He's with you. And that's what makes this hell on earth called reality more tolerable. Knowing that you're not only walking through the dark of night, but God is with you. And just because you can't see him does not mean that he's not there. You're not permitted to see him. You're not allowed to see him because there's no perfection in the flesh. To see God would mean you would physically die. That's how perfect he is and how unclean we all are. Even though we've been washed in Jesus' blood, we are still in these flesh bodies that are in a state of imperfection, because if they were not in a state of imperfection, they would not be aging, they would not be aching, they would not be so tired all the time. They wouldn't even get tired. We have no idea what it would feel like to be in a perfect body. A body that is always erect, always in perfect posture. You don't have to make yourself stand straight. You don't have to make yourself sit down in a chair and hold your body up. Your body would automatically be in that position. You're automatically walking like a king or walking like a queen. You know how people would tell people when you train up a child how to sit a certain way, how to stand a certain way. Stand with good posture. A perfect body will automatically have good posture. You don't have to make the effort. You don't even have to take it. We don't know what it would feel like to not feel the weight of our own bodies, to just feel light as a feather in a perfect body. But that's what Jesus has prepared for us on the other side if we follow him. See, there's a reason why Father said, follow me, because not only that good thing, but many good things Father has for us. Faith is a good thing.